anytime I want to speak in tongue, I can speak in tongue. He said, when I pray in the spirit, he said, my spirit prayed. He said, my understanding is unfruitful. He now went to verse 15. He said, what will I do? He said, I will pray in the spirit, and I will pray in my understanding. So you see that he was doing it by his will. It's not the Holy Ghost that will it. He said, I will. So anytime I want to, I will pray in the spirit. But when it's a message in tongues, you cannot will it. If it's a message in tongues or a diverse kind of tongue, the Holy Ghost will put the message on you. Sometimes you can just be praying with people. While you are praying in the spirit, the message will come, the tongue will change. Sometimes you are preaching. While you are preaching, the message will come, you will deliver it in tongues. When you finish, you go back to normal. It was the Holy Ghost that interrupted your vocal cord and gave you a message in an unknown language. So we said it's important for us to know the difference. Now, people argue most of the times, and what do they say? They say when they prayed in Acts chapter 2 verse 4, people understood them. Why are we praying in tongues now? Nobody's understanding us. There are two different things. What God did in Acts chapter 2 verse 4 is a sign to confirm the prophecy of Joel. And it's a diverse kind of tongue. It's not a prayer in tongues. It's a diverse kind of tongue. If you go to 1 Corinthians 14 verse 2, Paul said when you pray in an unknown tongue, he said no man understand you. He said how be it in the spirit you are uttering mysteries. So you are talking to God. It doesn't need interpretation. God understands every language. Does that make sense? So a tongue is a message supernaturally given in an unknown language. It is different from praying in tongues. Praying in tongues is a language of your human spirit, while diverse kinds of tongue is a message given to you in the language of the spirit. Are you following that? And we said when tongues are messages are given in tongues, there must be interpretation. Why is this thing important? And why am I emphasizing it? These are the simplest giftings, but they are the most abused. Somebody can come to a fellowship, people gather, and he carries the microphone, starts doing like this. And they now move forward and say, he will do it for 20 minutes and go back. What have you done, sir? He just wants people to know that he's a spiritual man. When he's doing it, sometimes emotional people, hey, Jesus is here. People will now fall down. The more people are falling down, he will now go home. You have not done anything. Paul said if somebody who is not an unbeliever comes there, he will say you are mad people. When you do that, don't live there until somebody interpret or you interpret, because you just wasted our time. But these things are abused, and then you find baby Christians everywhere doing things that are biblical nonsense. There must be interpretation so that the church is what? Edified. If you don't have the interpretation and nobody has the interpretation, we will pray there until God gives the interpretation, so that the body can be edified and there can be direction. Do you follow? That's why we are emphasizing it, so that you don't go and say this new tongue I'm speaking is like a message, and you start giving messages that have no interpretation. We want to interpret that message. Don't give me a machine with manual in Russia. I want to use the machine, so change the manual to English language so that I can use it. Number 3, we said interpretation of tongues, and we also spoke about it, and we said interpretation of tongues comes to play when the message is given in tongues. And there are 3 things we said. Number 1, we said it's a supernatural insight given to you to interpret a message in tongue. It doesn't mean you know the language, because you can finish interpreting that message, the next person speaks in an unknown language, you won't have interpretation. Now, why is this also important? Don't come to church and say you are an interpreter, and it looks as if you live with angels, so you know the language of angels. And so anytime people are praying in tongues, you stand like this. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Go away with your carnality. You don't know the language. That you interpreted the tongue does not mean you know the language. It means God has given you that gift. So if people speak in tongues, as the Holy Ghost wills, he can give you an interpretation per time. And people can also speak in tongues. You may not have the interpretation. Relax. Somebody else may have the interpretation. It's not your language. You were only given authority at a moment to interpret it. Now, if you grow that gift, you can start interpreting more frequently, because the Holy Ghost can be giving you understanding. But no matter how frequent you interpret, it doesn't mean that language has become your language, and it doesn't mean you know that language. The language will remain an unknown language, but you are given ability to know what is said per time. Do you get that? Number two, we said interpretation is not translation. So a tongue can be given very short, interpretation may be long. And I gave you instance from Daniel chapter 4. Mene, teke, overseen. 4 words. Daniel interpreted it in 3 sentences. He said, this is the meaning. Mene, you have been weighed in the balances, and your kingdom has been divided. Teke, your kingdom is divided to the Medes and the Persian. And now say Perez, he said, tonight this kingdom shall be divided. How can you explain 4 words in 3 sentences? Because it's not a translation, it's an interpretation. Are you following that? And I also taught you that this interpretation can be given in part, and it can be given differently, but the message will be the same. What do I mean? Somebody can say car la cause. You can come and interpret car. Another person can interpret la cause. The elders now will merge it together and get the message. You see that? So 3 people can be interpreting one tongue, and they are saying different things because they are interpreting different parts of the message. It's just like three blind men. They are touching a man. One can touch the head and said the person is like it has 4. Another person will touch the elbow and say this person is a bone. The human being is a bone. And another person can touch his leg and say human being is like a stick. The elders now will merge it together and define the shape. You see that? So interpretation can be given in part, and it can be given completely. Number 2, interpretation can be given differently, but the message can be constant. I can come and God said Laro Paraki, and what it means is fear not, I am with you. And one simple brother who didn't study in Harvard can stand up and say, this is what God is saying, fear not, I will be with you. Another person who is a PhD holder in philosophy can come and say, sustain no phobia, Elohim dwelleth with thou. When we hear, we know the message. We understand the burden of your certificate, but the message is what we are looking for. Do you get it? So this is how interpretation works. So it's important for you to understand it. When interpretation is taking place, our focus is the message. If we can get the message and it profits us, then we are blessed. This is what we have done so far. I had to reiterate it because these giftings are sensitive. They have been abused in the body of Christ.
Thank you for